Yo, welcome to 40th episode, 40th episode of my podcast, Open Conversations. I'm your host, Young Bellas Benwo, aka Pro Artist. That's my artist name. And back with just talking about uh, a couple a couple topics that had that have came to mind that wanted to talk about. Um, feel like these are some things that can be, of course, informative to people out there. Some info that you can apply into your, everyday life to some degree, because that's the purpose of this podcast to um, give information that people can use and apply in their real life every day. And being informative and educational is the purpose of this podcast. So, um, without further ado, I'm going to get into the first topic of today, and it is the power of networking. Um, Networking is definitely something that is very, very important, especially when it comes to um, just anything, any industry, a field that you want to be in. Networking is very key to meeting new people, creating new relationships, building relationships with people. Um, I definitely believe that networking is very key. I think oftentimes people uh, overlook the value of networking because oftentimes I think that people are so driven by money. And although, of course, money is important, I'm never going to be the person to try to devalue the need and the importance of money. But one thing I try to tell people, understand the fact like to get money, money comes from people, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand you gotta value people first, even before the money, you know what I'm saying? You value people, the money will come, you know. But when it comes to networking, meeting new people, potentially starting new relationships and stuff like that, um, it's something that, it can be, meeting one person can lead to meeting another person, which can lead to meeting another person, which can, maybe that person could be the person that leads you to an opportunity that you never, that you've been dreaming of or that you've been aspiring to have. Um, like I said, just from meeting the right people, meeting certain people and, connecting with them. Um, and I think that's oftentimes overlooked, you know what I'm saying? And that's essentially how you talking about a lot of successful people and people who are, make a lot of money and achieve a lot of things in their life. It's networking is a big part of how they've been able to get to where they're at, even if they weren't necessarily conscious of it. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of like on some coincidental thing, but still, it was networking. You met this person, they led you to this person, and this opportunity, this, that, and the third. And so I always see that, networking has been huge for me in terms of my personal experience in, my journey of entrepreneurship, networking has been very important. Just meeting new people, uh, and just connecting, you know, with them and introducing, some of the things, ways I could add value, you know, bring some value to them, networking them with this person. And it's like, if I meet, a artist, I try to, connect them with this person who could maybe help them, um, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And people have done the same for me, and it's helped me out. You know what I'm saying? So, um, understanding that, you never know who you'll meet and how they can help you. You know what I'm saying? With whatever it is you're trying to do in your life. Um, you know, I think a lot of times, like I said, people overlook that. You know what I'm saying? And that they kind of stay in the same situation. It's always kind of that phrase with no new friends, and I'm talking to a stranger, and stuff like that. And if you're somebody of value, it just all comes down to perspective and mindset. You can't really think like that. Like, my perspective on a stranger versus the average person, like, to me, a stranger is just somebody I've never met before. I haven't had prior interactions with, and who knows, I could, meet this person and it turn out to be, a good connect with what it is I'm, trying to do, or, we can build some kind of rapport relationship. They might turn out to just be a good, dope person, you know what I'm saying, that, can be valuable in my life. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. And even to judge people per se by how they look, I think is a bit superficial, because you just never know what the value that somebody can bring to your life. You know what I'm saying? I go to a lot of vendor meets and just artistic uh, events and stuff like that, and just see so much talent, so much talent. Like, I like to, present at one of these exhibitions a lot. It's relatively popular, called Pancakes and Booze, and it's me a lot of artists, people that if you were to just be walking downtown, you know what I'm saying, you saw them, you probably wouldn't even think that they had this type of talent. You know what I'm saying? So um, I see that, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You never know who you might meet, you know what I'm saying? And the abilities that they have, like a person may have, you know what I'm saying? How that could help you on your journey, you know. So, um, never just overlook somebody just because of how they look, what what type of shoes they wearing, or what car they're driving, or what, all the superficial stuff that I feel like a lot of times in this day and age, people make the mere focus of everything. You know what I'm saying? The superficial stuff, and not really understanding, like, you know, there's people, there's people out here who can, may not look whatever, however way, but man, they can really help you, and they can connect you with people and places and stuff that can be very beneficial to your life. And so, you know, I definitely encourage people to stop viewing people you haven't met before as a stranger, or somebody that you just, feel kind of in fear of. Like, it's just, you just haven't met them. You know what I'm saying? You just haven't met them. You haven't opened up to them and, chopped it up. I'll tell you what, this though, in all reality, when you look at life, the people that you and most times have to be, I guess, be aware of, and just like be somewhat kind of, cautious about. Usually, people you've already met, like, like, AKA us strangers with an E in the front. Us strangers, people you have met before, and those are usually the people who turn out to be people who will, you know, do some foul stuff to you, or say certain things about you. You know what I mean? It's usually those people, people you haven't met before, that you don't really, maybe you've kind of, had a couple interactions with. And those aren't usually the people you need to be worried about. It's usually the people that you've had some kind of interactions with, and to some degree, and you've met them before. Those are usually the people who would do some foul stuff to you for, because it's usually some kind of, envy or jealousy or something, things of that nature. That's usually the root of it. It's usually those people. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times people get comfortable with that. They don't really want to expand. And, oftentimes you meet new people, and, they not, you come to find out they may not be um, the people that, who are beneficial to where you want to go. And you just got to keep it moving, understand it's all part of the process. You know what I'm saying? Um, just having the mindset, like, if I, meet 10 people, if I, maybe two of those 10 people, if not one of those people, can turn out to be a relation of value. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a numbers game, like all things, you know what I'm saying? Especially the entrepreneurial mindset, it's definitely a numbers game. And so, but like I said, that one person you might meet, you know what I'm saying, out of those 10 could be that person that can, like I said, help elevate you, put you in, a better position of where you're at currently. So, uh, definitely encourage networking with people. Taking accountability. Now, I think this is something where I want to give some context and some depth to. 'Cause oftentimes, when this word accountability is mentioned, it's said in very superficial ways, right? Um, One thing I've noticed with a lot of people, and in my experience, when it comes to people love to take accountability, which is really taking responsibility for your actions and what you say and do in a given situation. But people love to take accountability when things go well. When everything's going well, everything goes right, that's when most people want to take accountability. But when things go wrong, when things aren't necessarily going the way that you had wanted, type of thing, they ain't taking accountability. Even if it's their fault, even if they're the root reason as to why things went wrong, that's when they got to start pointing the finger and try to make somebody wrong who isn't wrong. And this is like super prevalent in today's society. Everybody wants to take accountability when things is going well. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. And if you done the right thing, you put in the work, and let's say you end up winning a championship in your sport or something like that, like, you should take accountability for that. That's a good thing. You put in the work. But if things don't go right, or things, you end up losing, or, you gotta still take accountability. You know what I'm saying? You gotta still take accountability. So it goes both ways. It's not just a one way thing. I know most people like to look at accountability from just taking responsibility when things go right, from their point of view. But when things go wrong, it ain't there. And so if that's how you want to be, then you can't be uh, definitely not a person who's in a, I would say, a higher up position, even though there are people who manage to be in higher up positions who lack the ability to take accountability in full, right? Like I said, they like to take accountability when things go right, but you're not a true leader, a true example of leadership, in my opinion. Obviously everybody can have their opinion, that's cool. Just my opinion, right? Um, so me, I take accountability when things go right and wrong, right? I'm not gonna be the person, because I've met people like this where they'll try to make you accountable only when things go wrong. When things go wrong, they just try to blame you. Even if you didn't do nothing wrong, they just blame you and make you accountable for when things go wrong. So that now you have this mentality where you just think you're wrong all the time. You're always the person that things go wrong and, oh, we're gonna blame this person, like, type thing. And mm-mm. I'm gonna, when things go well in my life that I put in the work for, hard work in and dedication, I'm gonna take accountability for that. You know, like I said, I'm gonna take accountability um, when things go wrong, when I, fail, when I make mishaps, and you know, I'm gonna still take accountability for my part in, what I'm saying, the situation. And so um, that to me is really taking accountability. You know what I'm saying? And you know, believe it or not, that's not too many people are who operate in this kind of frame, unless you're a true leader of some sort, a true example of, you know, of a responsible individual. You understand? Like I said, you cannot be, and most people love to have the power and, the benefits that come with being in certain positions and positions of power where you can kind of, you know, make decisions that implicate, multiple people's lives, and being able to kind of control things. People, everybody wants to be like that, right? Everybody wants to be the king. Everybody wants to be the queen. Like, all the benefits that come with it, and these are great. But like I said, when things go wrong, when things aren't going as planned, you see how many people are there to take accountability for that. Not a lot. Very, very few people are gonna be there and want to take accountability when things go wrong. The same people who want to be in these positions of power, same people who want to be business owners and entrepreneurs and this, that, and the third, all of that, right? And they actually might have some talent, but then when things go wrong, things get, you know, that's when they go ghost. You just, they don't show up. How can you really be in these positions of power if you can't show up when it's crunch time, or when it's, when it's real, it's time to show up, when it gets crunchy, when it gets difficult, and you're not fit for the position for real. You just like the benefits and the glamour that comes with being being in these positions. You're not really fit for that role, So um, to me, I think I just want to just give some context and clarification on things because I said people always think like it's kind of like, I guess, kind of just the norm to think that taking accountability means you're taking responsibility when things go wrong. No, it means just taking responsibility in given situations and circumstances that you're involved in, good or bad, right or wrong. That is what it means, truly and fully. Okay, so the people out there, that's really what it is. Chasing success versus chasing byproducts of success. So it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? You see, especially with the social media and age that we live in, everybody is chasing the byproducts of success, like getting the fancy car, getting the foreign car, and the huge house, and you know the the lavish vacations. And these are great things. Like these aren't things that these are things that all people should want. And they're like, why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Everybody should decide. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with having the luxuries of life, right? No problem. But these are just the byproducts. These are what comes with being successful. But the discrepancy, I had to say, is they're just byproducts. It's not the actual success. You're not, you know, this isn't the work being put in. You know what I'm saying? This is trying to create an image of success. An image of that you are a successful person, and in all reality, you're really not. You know what I'm saying? You're really, you know, kind of just putting up an image and a facade, hoping that people can view you as successful. And if that's how, people want to move like that, by all means, that's cool. Do your thing. No problem. But like I said, it's not successful, man. To chasing success means you're chasing a process. It's a process to achievement of some sort. Um, it's an ongoing thing. You achieve one thing and then you achieve this, and it's an ongoing process of achievement. That's really what success is. It's an ongoing process of to pursue or achieve something. Okay, that is what chasing success is. And when you understand that, the byproducts, like I said, the big house, the foreign car, the vacation, these are things that are just part of the process. These are things that come along with being successful and achieving the goals. Achieving the goals. These things come with achieving the goals that you have. That when you achieve, levels and higher levels of success. You see, you achieve this level of success, you go to this level of success, you achieve this, achieve, you just keep going up. And these things that people are always so vain about, the cars and the this and that, you understand, like this what comes with the success. You know what I'm saying? So me, I'm not a person who chases the byproducts of success. I I chase success, achievement, scale, achieving the goal of getting my business or brand to a certain level, right, of evaluation or something like that. Like that's that's the goal. That's me in the process of achieving that. And when I achieve that goal, these things that people are, busting their ass for, the byproducts of success, you know, these will just be, like I said, this is just part of it. You know what I mean? Like this is just what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I encourage people to chase success rather than chasing the byproducts of it, because chasing the byproducts of it ultimately is going to um, make you feel like an imposter. Like that you're truly not successful. You're just putting up a front or facade that you are, and that you're of this certain caliber, and you're really not. You know what I'm saying? You want people to um, view you in a way that truly isn't you, and it will lead to the destruction of your life, uh, eventually, ultimately, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And again, chasing the byproducts of success is, it's like cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? You're not really doing the full work. You're not going through the trials and the tribulations. That's the thing that people don't want to go through. That's why they chase the byproducts of the success, because the trials and the tribulations and the problems and the difficulties and the challenges that you face in the process of chasing success it's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard. And being able to continue to sustain and maintain at a high level is very challenging. That's why a lot of people don't chase success, because they know how difficult it is, and they know how, in a lot of ways, lonely it can be. You know what I'm saying? It's very difficult, and so, but it's in the long run rewarding. You know what I'm saying? So just had to make that distinction between chasing success versus chasing byproducts that success comes with, right? Racism. Now, this is a topic I've just wanted to touch on a little bit. Some people can be touchy subject, um, but I still want to talk about it and address it from my own perspective, because, again, this um, podcast is just me giving y'all my perspective on the various topics and subjects that I um, present. So, racism, by definition, racism means prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So that's the definition of racism, according from the Oxford Dictionary. Okay. Um, so there's always been somewhat of a theory that if you're a black person, you can't be racist because of the racism of white people and stuff like that. Now, if you just listen to this definition that I've given you, it will let you know that by definition, if you're a black person and you fit this definition, you are a racist. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you can be racist towards Asians, you can be racist towards Latinos, you can be racist towards whites, you can be racist towards Middle Eastern, etc. And this applies for other ethnic groups. If you're Asian, you can be racist towards black people, you can be racist towards white people, you can be racist towards Latinos, and if you're a white person, you can be racist towards Latinos, you can be racist towards Asians, you can be racist towards blacks. It does it's no kind of like, a lot of people like to do the how can I say, the double standard, you know what I'm saying? And I just try to keep things objective, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of times people like to have their subjective view of things, and that's okay, but there has to be room for objectivity, because that is what I think in a lot of ways is lacking a lot of times, especially in this day and age. Objectivity, seeing things for what it is, rather than how you would prefer to see it, right? But for me, I racism is rooted in a form of self-hate, in my belief. If you're racist towards another group or person, one thing I've noticed and I've learned and observed with people who are like this is they have a jealousy towards that group. There's something about that ethnic group that they would like to have, but they don't have. Even if you go and look at racism with, like racism in the U.S., right? Just give an example, because there's racism all over the world. I'm just giving an example, just with particularly blacks and whites, right? The racism that white people, Caucasians, how you want to say, European Americans, whatever, right, that display amongst or against blacks is usually rooted in some level of self-hate, jealousy, envy, wanting to be in some shape or form like black people, but because in maybe ways that you're not, and that you just can't be like them, there's that anger because of that, and it gets projected on black people, and vice versa, right? Even when you see like a lot of very pro black and Pan-African, I love it. I'm gonna get into more just like having love for your ethnic groups. Like a lot of these kind of individuals, at the same time that they're saying, pro-black and all this and slandering white people and stuff like that, and slandering the culture, white culture and stuff like that, European culture, whatever, they'll be the same ones doing what the Europeans do, talking the way Europeans talk, using the same language, dressing in suits and, certain styles of dresses that come from European culture. So it's like, how do you this, I'm against white people and the culture and they're against, but then you're like doing the same thing that white people do. saying the same thing white people do. And then you see the same thing with white people. You see, racist white people slandering blacks and talking down on blacks, but then you're eating their food. You're dressing like them. You're listening to black hip hop artists. Like, this is usually the, the element that, like, a lot of times can be a bit kind of confusing in a lot of ways, because it's like, how on one end you slandering somebody, but then you're like doing what they're doing. You want to do what they're doing. So, it's always, rooted in some levels of self-hate. And, for me personally, I'm just of that, mindset of, I've always been a person who's promoted diversity, different ethnic groups. I've always embraced different ethnic groups, my ethnic group, other ethnic groups, and people to embrace and love who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a white man, white woman, you should love the fact that you're white, and your culture, the culture that comes with being a European or white, whatever. Like, you should love that. You know what I'm saying? You love who you are and stuff like that. If you're a black man or woman, like, you should love your who you are, your ethnic group. You should, like they say, be unapologetically black. You should be unapologetically white. You should be unapologetically Asian. You know what I'm saying? You should love your culture. You know what I'm saying? Where you come from. You should be unapologetically Latino, whatever, where you're from in South America. Like, you should love who you are. You should love your culture. Like, that's the mindset that I feel like people should have. You know what I'm saying? All ethnic groups should love who they are first. Okay? Love who they are first. And also, at the same time, embrace other ethnic groups, embrace the cultures that come with other ethnic groups, because you can learn some things, you can adapt, you can learn and apply some things in your life. And that's one of the things that makes America such a great country, because there's so many different ethnic groups, and you can learn from different ethnic groups and how they do things and stuff like that. But like I said, number one, you should love wherever you come from, and who you are individually. You know what I'm saying? It's always somewhat of a push to get people to not love who they are. I've noticed that people have done this to me all my life, in some shape or form. It's probably even family members and stuff like that will try and get you to feel low about yourself, feel bad about yourself to some degree. And so that's kind of like how this society is and stuff like that. But like I said, for me, try to encourage people to love who they are, love, where they come from, embrace all of that. So. Self-esteem growing up African in America. I know for many people out there who are similar to me, who are first-gen Americans, and even other ethnic groups, but I'm just speaking specifically to me and, ethnic groups and people, Africans who grew up here, and, kind of like the challenges that came with that, and how that kind of impacted one's self-esteem and stuff like that. I think that, and like I said, other ethnic groups, whether, you were Latino, growing American, Asian, to some degree can be able to relate. But like I said, for mirror of this topic, I'm going to be speaking primarily to being African and growing up in America and how yourself, it impacted or influenced your self-esteem and stuff like that. And it kind of, yeah, in a lot of ways, like for me, speaking specifically, like you get kind of, I got picked on, you know what I'm saying, growing up to some, in the elementary, you know what I'm saying, being African and having a unique name, Young Bella Sabebo, that's my given name, you know what I'm saying, and that not being the norm, you know what I'm saying, when you're in school and, people are looking at you like, yeah, this, you know, broke African kid, looking like you're just some, weird person or whatever. Like, but I know that I was able to have a level of thick skin in some sense, because even though, cause I got a lot of, you know, joning and, people criticizing African booty scratcher and all the African slandering that you could imagine. I received growing up in America, and I think I have managed to still have a good level of self-esteem about myself, um, because I, always defended myself, even during those times where I was being criticized and for who I am and where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's usually mainly of, funny enough, like, you know, blacks born in America. You know what I'm saying? Like African American, African Americans, whatever, however you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But that's when most of the criticism came from. But I always been somebody to educate people on that, like, you just kind of may not be knowing of, like, this is kind of where your origins are. You know what I'm saying? And I understand, um, as I got older, like, the images that most, you know, Black Americans who've been here for some time, um, the image that they've gotten about when it comes to Africa have not been positive. Like, you usually see, like, in the info commercials of, like, some baby who's, like, no disrespect, got like a big head, but their body is just like all bones, and then being like, and they're like crying for food, and they're not, they're kind of dirty and stuff like that, and you know, and there's like the thing where it's like, please help this young African boy who's been hasn't eaten in 5 days, or, like, just to try and make this bad image of how it is, being African, how Africa is and stuff like that. And yes, like, to some degree, yes. Are there people in Africa who are, struggling with, financial resources and, you know, stuff like that? Yes. But there's a lot of other, there's wealth there. There's people who are living very wealthy and, lavishly and things of that nature. They don't show y'all that aspect of, you know, being African, because they don't want people, blacks, to have a positive self-image or self-esteem about, being African and stuff like that. They want you to not want to connect with those roots and not want to, be confident in who you are, because deep down, blacks know, this is where I, originate. But why would I want to connect with people who, it looks like they haven't taken a shower in weeks, or they're not eating good and stuff like that. Why would I want to connect with that? And that's the thing that I can understand and relate when it comes to Black Americans in America. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here to tell y'all have a skewed image of how it is being African, right? I can even America, go I can go to Africa, take all the images of poverty in America, go to all the ghettos, go and make videos and take photos, and then go show people in Africa like how the poverty here is in America. And if I showed people in Africa that, they wouldn't want to come to America. They wouldn't want to come here like, oh, they're suffering. Why would I want to come to America? I'll just stay here. And so it's the same principle and vice versa, you know. Um, so I think the slandering and the name calling and the joning, it definitely developed a lot of self-hate amongst people like me, especially first gen Africans in America, and it kind of made you want to conform to the American ways and how things are done, and just kind of lose sense of your identity of being African and things of that nature. So now you're lost. You don't really know who you are. You don't really embrace who you are because people have shamed you into not wanting to be who you are, naturally. They've managed to shame you out of, being who you are and having an esteem about yourself and things of that nature. And I've seen so many people who have suffered from that, from just wanting to fit in and be, not wanting to, you know, be the, I guess the oddball, whatever, like, or they don't want to embrace who they are fully. You know what I'm saying? And I just, fortunately for me, I just, one of my gifts is just, I just don't really be giving a damn. I really don't. Like, I've been criticized and all that plenty of time in my life, and I'm still, you know what I'm saying, confident in who I am, and it don't break me spiritually, mentally, you know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of it's rooted in insecurity. Not a lot of it. It's all rooted in insecurity and envy and stuff like that. And you know, I've been one of the few who's managed to maintain a level of self-esteem and who I am and stuff like that, despite all of that. And I encourage others to do the same, man. You should still embrace who you are. I identify with being both African and American. You know what I'm saying? Culturally, who I am and what I represent stems from both, Africa and America. You know what I'm saying? Um, I love being the fact that I'm an American, and I love the fact that I'm African as well. I embrace both aspects of who I am. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's like I always, it's always kind of funny when people, if you're a biracial person, if you have a white mom and a black father, like you're not you're not just black, bruh. You're both, and you should embrace the fact that you know what I'm saying, both aspects of who you are, being white, being black. That's your reality. Not everybody, you know what I'm saying, is like that. You know what I mean? That's not everybody's reality, but like being that that's your reality, like you should embrace that fact. You know what I'm saying? I recently seen something like Amber Rose, kind of got, growing up kind of, bullied or criticized, and like people told her like, if because her dad is or she's this, she's biracial, it means she's white, like she's just white because of this, her father is this, but her mom is that, like pretty much telling her not to embrace the fact that she's black, like as well as she is white. And so I'm just like, yo, like that shit's always been funny to me. Like embrace both sides, both aspects. Like you should embrace, if you're biracial, you should embrace the fact that you have your white roots. You should embrace your black roots. Don't just, oh, I'm just white. Oh, I'm just black. Like no, that's not your reality. That's not the truth. You're both. You know what I'm saying? I think that's dope if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, man. Uh, you know, I would say, man, kids can be some of the um cruelest people, man. Sometimes, like, I even look back in my life, like, even me, like, stuff that we used to say, and we didn't know any better, but that was just really messed up. Like, some of the stuff we used to say, and I don't, as I've gotten older, and it's like, damn, I don't know how, like that might have really messed up their self esteem. Like, damn, I might have really made this person really feel bad about themselves. You know what I'm saying? But if I did, anybody out there, you might remember me from way back when, whatever. I humbly apologize. You know what I'm saying? I hope, you're doing well, and, you know, you don't hate me or whatever. But, yeah, man, I think that, it's important to have a high level of self-esteem about yourself and be proud of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Especially us Africans. We have very unique names and culture and stuff like that. Even to this day, I still, have my struggles, and just like even saying my name to people. My name is Young Bella, not Young this or in Young whatever. You know what I mean? Like I still have those, difficulties. The goal is that someday it will be universally known how to pronounce my name respectfully without it being butchered. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always happy when people are able to pronounce my name well. But yeah, man, have be proud of who you are to my fellow Africans and people out there in general. Friend zone. So this is a term that I feel like gets put in bad context, and usually comes from people, a lot of guys and girls who like the only value that they can bring to somebody is sexually. I'm not here to say that value that you bring to somebody, sexual value isn't value. You know what I'm saying? Um, I love the sexuality of women. I'm a heterosexual guy, right? Um, but again, like I said, like I recognize that's not the only value that a woman can provide for me. You know what I'm saying? She can bring value in other ways. You know what I'm saying? And even if she's not bringing value sexually, she can bring value, like I said, in doing other things, right? You need to be able to have people in your life. Well, I would suggest, I'm not going to say you need, I'm going to suggest that you have people in your life that bring value to your life. And that can be the opposite sex. You can have a relationship with a female or a relationship with a male, or generally a person of the opposite sex, and it be platonic. It's not sexual based. Can it be sexually based? Can the elements of sexuality and intimacy be a part of that relationship? For sure. But I'm trying to get people to understand that don't just be one dimensional when it comes to relations. You know what I'm saying? So often with guys, it's just like, oh, she put me in the friend zone, and simply because she hasn't let you smash or have sex with her, And just trying to tell me this is part of why a lot of guys get trapped and caught up and whatnot, because the only thing that you're looking for in terms of value when it comes to women is just sex. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You're not, and then you wonder why you get in the type of situations get in when it comes to women. You know, because that's it. That's the only thing that and trying to get y'all to understand, like, they can do more things, and vice versa. Like, if you're a woman and you think the only value that a guy has is his sexuality, like, I hope you understand, like, a man, guy can do other things as well. There's more other valuable things that a guy can provide for you, even if it's not sexually. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said earlier when I was talking about networking, like, you might need to, like, it'd be beneficial for you to have a relationship or some kind of friendship with a guy who can present opportunities for you, open doors to certain lanes and things that you might not have been able to have availability to. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean that y'all have to be having an intimate relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can be somebody who can, again, provide value, provide networks for you, give you some knowledge, give you, you know what I mean? I don't know, etc. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just have to be intimate. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, I just like good vibe people. Like, I like to have people who gonna bring good vibes around me, whether it's male or female. Like, I just like to just kick it and chill, relax, have a good time. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we gotta uh, it gotta be sexual. And that's what a lot of times makes a lot of dudes socially awkward, and girls socially awkward, and just kind of just lame, in my opinion. Like, everybody that you come across, you gotta potentially have some kind of sexual relation. Not everybody is meant for all that. Some people, you know what I'm saying, but everybody is not a sexual partner, man, male or female. So, um, you know, try to be a cool dude, cool person. You know what I'm saying? And bring value, bring value. You know what I'm saying? Bring value in multiple ways. You know what I'm saying? Um, I like with like I said, with friends, with friendship. I mean, it's always that narrative. Oh, guys and girls can't be platonic. Have platonic relationships and stuff like that. Totally disagree, man. Totally disagree. People, male and female, can have a relation where it's not necessarily sexual. It could be, you know, this person provides a good, value in ways that I appreciate and I value. That's just not sexually, and that's like, why do y'all need everybody to be a sex? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is why a lot of cats be getting caught up and stuff, trying to have sex with anything and everything that's walking. And that's not the need for that. Some people you can reserve that for, but not everybody. You know what I'm saying? This goes for male and female. You know what I'm saying? So, um, just trying to give y'all just a somewhat different perspective on this whole concept of the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? If you're this usually applies to people who, especially specifically guys, where you like a girl and she's just not allowing you to have sex with her. So then you're in the friend zone, and you're trying to do anything you can to get her to, have sex with you and stuff like that. It's like, bruh, like, you're lame. You are lame. You know what I'm saying? You are definitely lame, and you gotta understand, like, everybody ain't reserved for that. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's not gonna find you sexually appealing, regardless of even if you are a handsome and good looking guy or a good looking woman. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just giving y'all perspective on things, and hope y'all can, learn some things from what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because people, like I said, people can provide value in ways more than sexuality, right? Just like, I like to use this analogy: a phone, right? Your smartphone. Smartphone can be used in ways more than just calling somebody. You can text somebody, you can FaceTime, you can go on social media, you can go on your email, you can go on. These are so many things that a smartphone can do of value other than just calling somebody, right? So look at it from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? Even if you can't call somebody, look at all the other things that you can use a smartphone for. The same thing applies to men and women. Steve Kerr, Team USA coaching. So, you know, it's the last topic. Just want to just kind of speak on Steve Kerr, his coaching on Team USA. And, Steve Kerr is a guy that, you know, I feel like is a guy who knows the game of basketball, and he's had a very good career as not only as a coach, but as a player as well. Champion as a player and coach. Um, has a lot of experience, but I've been a bit confused with some of his thoughts and perspectives in recent times. Um, I think that he's a good coach, but it's starting to look like he's a bit somewhat overrated in ways. Is it just a matter of you just always having great talent around you, or are you really a guy who is really making an impact and really knows what they're doing at the highest of highest levels? Um, when it comes to his decision during Team USA to bench Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and Halliburton, I didn't really quite understand it. Didn't make any sense to me. Um, with the level of talent that is on that team, I think there should be minutes for everybody. Um, there should be there should have been good management in terms of how we're going to manage the minutes for everybody on that team, because I think everybody on that team can do some great things in their own capacity. Um, Jason Tatum, um, who in my opinion by talent was the fourth best player on that team. I don't think there's four other guys on that team better than Jason Tatum. The only guys I'm putting ahead of him is Steph, Bron, and KD. After that, talent wise, I don't think there's a player um, better than Jason Tatum as an overall player. Don't think so. And to see that your fourth best player on your team isn't getting any minutes, like how can that make any sense? And this isn't a guy who is a player who's um, he's great at just one thing or one or two things. He's an overall great basketball player. He can do multiple things very well, not just good, but very well. He can score the basketball. He can defend. He can facilitate, um, etc. He can play off the ball. So how is it that a guy like this is getting no minutes? And then you say, well, it's a rotation. It's a equation that's you know not making sense. It's a math problem. To me, this is just excuses. Um, this is very political. I believe that the coaching staff was trying to, play little mind games with the Boston Celtics, albeit that they're the NBA champions, and just trying to lower the esteem of their leader of their team. Playing, and there's no disrespect to these guys because I think they're good players. Derek White and Drew Holiday, both really good players, but no way that these guys should be playing before Jason Tatum. And if even if you ask them, they would say the same thing. Honestly, they even know it. Like, how are we getting more minutes before Jason Tatum? It just doesn't make any sense. So, um, saying that this is a math equation or math problem, it's actually you, Steve Kerr, is the math problem that needs some understanding because your decision making isn't making any sense. Because Jason Tatum is your fourth best player, hands down. He's fourth best player. Should have been starting every game. Shouldn't have been much of a thing. And if you wanted to test rotations, he should have been the sixth, at the lowest, eighth guy coming off the bench. If you really wanted to experiment rotations, there's no, JTM not playing at all. Sermon like that just didn't make any sense, and just really questionable in terms of Steve Kerr's basketball mind. And as he's a guy that I used to believe was highly knowledgeable and understanding of the game, but it doesn't seem like he's what I thought. And you know, maybe can he redeem himself with this upcoming year? Will he be back for 2028? I doubt it. But highly questionable. Kind of exposed him as a coach. Does Steve Kerr really know what he's doing? Is he really as great of a coach as he is? Or has he's always been a coach who's always had great talent? You know, like same with Phil Jackson. And this may, if I get people on guard, I don't really think he's that great of a coach either because he's always been a guy who's had great talent. And the times when it was time to build the team and go through the rough stages, Phil Jackson was never there for that. So to me, he's overrated as well. Um, for me, the best coaches are the guys who can improve their players, get their players better, you know, get the best out of their players. That's why I think Coach Izzo is the best and the greatest coach in college basketball and one of the greatest coaches in general, not just basketball, just generally. because he knows how to develop and improve his players and get the best out of his players. Something, no disrespect, I haven't seen Steve Kerr do. And so, um, I just want to just give my perspective on his, on his coaching. I've seen a lot of people, obviously give their perspective on the coaching and stuff like that. Want to give mine, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, wish you the best nonetheless. This isn't an attack on you, uh, Steve Kerr, or anything like that. Just my analysis. I wish you and your team the best in your coaching career. But I just had to give my perspective on the Team USA, whatever. So that concludes the 40th episode of my podcast, Open Conversations. I hope you guys learned some things, get some things that you can apply into your everyday real life. That's what this platform is for, to give knowledge and information to the people of the world. So until next time, peace and love.